iron in their soul. What's up, YouTube? This is your big brother King Jabez, back to you with another very important message. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think about my content. Also, in addition to that, please feel free to follow me over on Instagram at The King Jabez, as well as my website, theironsoul.com. Whatever you choose to do, it will be greatly appreciated. Also, please hit that like button on the way in. That helps to spread this message over on this YouTube platform, which needs to go out. Let's get to work. Today's video is entitled, Chosen Ones Must Team Up Against Their Enemies. We have to unite and to find our tribe if we plan to really achieve the success, the breakthrough, the prosperity, the blow up moment, the opportunity, use my words carefully, and really just tap into the treasures and gold and silver and diamonds of wisdom that is available with a multitude of people. There is safety in numbers. There's power in numbers, unity. And that's why we have so much strife, confusion, jealousy, division. All of this becomes a massive barrier to unity. And brothers and sisters that should get along become enemies through hate, through the sin of comparisons. We start comparing ourselves to one another. And, simply put, people start feeling some type of way about who you are and what you represent and the progress you're making and the potential that you have. And so considering those various factors, I think it is so important that we learn to unite with those who are like-minded, not the wrong people. Because if you get with the wrong ones, they will mess you up badly. Okay, I can't stress enough. Really be discerning when it comes to this. Use your discernment strongly when choosing friends, connections, tribe, team, squad, whatever word you want to use. So choose carefully. So, you don't want to distrust everyone, and you end up isolating yourself from those who could really help you. At the same time, we don't want to be gullible and naive. And so I think all the various tests and trials we have been through were designed to open our eyes up and to give us the vision to see who people really are. Because there's so many fakes out here today. So many people who will deceive you, and you think someone's cool, you find out they're really not. They're on the other side. You know what I mean? and it comes out within a matter of time. But considering all of that, I still believe and stand on this fact, it is so necessary for us chosen ones to team up in order to deal with our very real and dangerous enemies. So as we approach this subject today, I think it's so important. The need for support that we all have as chosen ones, it cannot be mentioned enough. We can't take on all that life throws our way by ourselves. And when people think about support has many layers. It's not always financial. Sometimes it may be financial. We'll get into that in this talk. But to kind of start off light, sometimes the support is just literally that. Picking up your phone, giving someone a phone call. Hey, how are you doing? Just checking in with you, man. Do you have a prayer request? Do you have something you need to talk about? Hey, I'm reading this book. What do you think about this book? Hey, I got this connection, man. Maybe you should try this person out. They do good hair with dreads. They're good with business. They got good food. This person is really knowledgeable about the fitness industry. This person can really give you a good connection with your business. You get my point. It is so important to have people around you. And, we understand it's a circle, sometimes small. But think about someone like even King David, in ancient Hebrew. Even in his isolation and being separated from the entire nation of Israel, even in his humility, his time of being tested, his time when he was the scapegoat, right? When he was seen as the bad guy that he wasn't. Even in that, did you know that during that time, David had several hundred men around him, right? And I dare say David never would have became the legendary great king he became had he not had that support. that army of men. And these men who were with him, these were men who were going through problems themselves. The ancient Hebrew scripture says that they were in debt. They were in distress. These were men who were hurting. As we will say in 2023, they were down bad. Okay, they were down bad. David was down bad. And they were down bad together. They banded together, figured some things out, helped each other, shared the resources they had, and did some great things. Broke some curses, generational curses. I talked about that. 7 curses, able to face enemies. And so when I think about a message like this, we have to team up in order to deal with our enemies, because you got a lot of haters. There are people out there who are adverse to your progress, who don't want to see you prosper, who don't want to see you become who you are destined to be. And so it is essential, it is necessary that you have a tribe, people that you can trust, a small group. There's so many ways to do this. Maybe you have 5-10 people y'all meet together and y'all talk on the phone. Whatever the case may be, finding ways to encourage each other in this world we call life. Just think about what you've been through already, your time of isolation and loneliness. Think about how difficult that was. When you needed someone to talk to, you didn't have that person there. That at times, when you're by yourself, you're in your own head, not having a second or third or even fourth voice of reason. You've needed that. If you're really honest with yourself and you think back, some of the mistakes you could have avoided in your life had you had that circle. Guys, I'm here to say today, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, I would not be who I am today, and not that I've arrived, I'm still on a journey, still trying to get to where the Most High wants me to be. But I wouldn't have made it this far on the journey if there was not a circle of men and women who helped me along the way, especially in my 20s, who gave me a lot of guidance, counsel, for lack of a better word, life advice about women. I got some life advice about women from older women that have helped me with women to this day, from grandma, older ladies in the church, aunties, that gave me some solid game that I needed as a young man that I didn't have. It's so, having men and women who have experience that you don't have, you can glean so much wisdom from that. And as I said recently, before there is a release of wealth, there has to be an increase in wisdom. Let me say it again. Before there is a release in wealth, there must be an increase in wisdom. Your desire to truly know right from wrong and to operate that way, it requires a lot of time. And so for some of you, it's going to require you spending more time studying. This may be, at times, and this is getting a little personal now, some of you may not like this, but I think it's helpful for you. Some of us may have to delete some of those apps on our phone for a period of time to really just lock in, because some of you, I'm telling the truth, it's time to see a shift in your life. Am I speaking to you now? Am I talking to you? I'm going to come to your house eventually. I'm sitting on the couch with you and talk to you. It's time for a shift. And, to be transparent, your big brother Iron, I feel like there's a time for a shift in my life, to be honest with you. There's a time to hit a new level. You see, we should always be going to the next level. I feel like I've got to a certain place, and I'm happy with my progress, but there's time for a shift in my life, right? And it's time for a shift in your lives. And when you're trying to shift and go to that next gear, as we should always be doing, essentially we should always be growing, never get satisfied where we're at. Even though yesterday I mentioned to grow where you're planted, that doesn't mean to get complacent. You're there, but you should be growing and shifting while you're there. I know what I said. I meant that. Okay? So as you're making that transition, having people around you, men and women, who have insight to share can save you a lot of time, heartache, resources, and wealth based on the wisdom that they impart into your spirit. And can I add more to this? Another important principle about this, when you have a team, squad, tribe, whatever you want to use, you understand your role. And that's not to diminish your worth and your ability. Sometimes the wisdom for you is recognizing your role on the team. Everyone can't be the king. Everyone can't be the queen. Everyone can't be the top guy, the top female. It's okay to be next to the king. Some of you, that may be your role. And when you figure that out, embrace that. Every great man and woman needs to have a team. So some of you, it may not be your role to be over it, but it may be your role to be a part of it. And let me tell you, you are very necessary. This is what I know from working in organizations and working for a business. Every team player is important. You know, when you start talking about business, you start talking about administration, directors, counselors. You got security, you got your food services, you got your chefs, you have your, people who take care of the business behind the scenes, HR. Every person is necessary. And then you're, of course, the top guy, the king, the CEO, the president, whatever you want to call them. That's how you run stuff. And so when we talk about teaming up, it is essentially us coming together and realizing, this person's good at that. This person is good at this. This person is gifted in this area, and utilizing that ability. Because some of you, your abilities can't really be utilized by yourself, right? Now, I know we talk about isolation and being abandoned, being hurt. And one of the things, the problems with this as chosen ones, we struggle to trust people. And we're going to have to get over that collectively to see some real progress. The enemies that come our way, the battles, the hurdles we have to climb to experience the prosperity and progress that we want, we're not going to be able to do it by ourselves. And so it's going to be crucial to your growth that you begin to understand who you are within a tribe and to bring your gifts and talents to that. And in that way, really honor the Most High. So none of us really is an island to ourselves. It is so important that we sharpen one another. So from a Hebrew perspective, Old Testament, one could put 1,000 in flight and 2, 10,000. A cord of 3 is not easily broken. So there is much power in numbers, in unity, in love, in connections. I'm going to use these words, network. I want these words to encourage you. I don't want you to be afraid of these words. I don't want you to be afraid of the words networking, connection, trust. Right? We sometimes cringe when we hear that because of what we've experienced. The various trials we've had to develop our character, the fire we have been in, like gold is refined in fire, like silver is refined in fire. We've been through all of that. And there have been so many people that we can't trust. Okay, so let me put that out there too. When you're trying to team up, be very selective. Be very careful, because a person can turn to a Judas on you very quickly, right? Admiration can quickly turn into jealousy and competition and hate. And so be careful who you trust, but at the same time, don't be so careful till you're to a place where you don't trust anybody. So we have to avoid both extremes. We have some of us who struggle with being too trusting and kind of naive, and you end up getting burned over and over and over again. And then we have others who don't trust anybody, and you end up missing some of your best friends, your connections, people who actually do care about you, right? And so it's important that we have that balance if we want to see the victories in our lives. Being a Chicago native, I know this for a fact, as great as Michael Jordan was, he would have never won all those rings without his supporting cast. He had to have Scottie Pippen, one of the top 50 players of all time, by the way. He needed to have Horace Grant. I'm a Chicago native. I watched all those games. I went to Grand Park when they won the championships. I saw those guys up close. Been to some of the games with Joakim Noah, D. Rose, all those guys. Oh, yeah, I'm rocking with Chirac. And, for years, Jordan had to fight. And he developed his skills. And I think it was maybe 6-7 years, I want to say, before they finally won their first ring. He needed all those guys. Scotty, Horace Grant, B.J. Armstrong, Steve Kerr. You had Craig Hodges at one point, the three-point specialist. Bill Cartwright, which, he was cool. He was all right. You know what I mean? Tony Kukoc eventually got in from overseas. Then he brought Dennis Rodman in eventually, the rebounding king. And they had all those different guys that were necessary to build that dynasty. As great as MJ was and is as a player, arguably the best of all time. There's a debate there with him and Kobe and LeBron. We'll get into all that, but undisputed, one of the best of all time, right? Even him would have not made or reached his full potential without a team. Okay, so I think that's a good analogy for this, using my experience from Chicago. You got to have people around you. And so I guess the conclusion to this is, as I wrap this up, don't be afraid to network, right? It's okay to reach out to people, connect. whether it be through email, sometimes through chat groups, and even meet people in person. I have the privilege over the last several years of doing YouTube content to meet several of my supporters. I don't like to use the word subscriber, like you're beneath me or something. Subscriber, follower, supporters. I like you guys to support what I got going on. I met a couple of my supporters, and it was a good experience. It's something cool. In fact, I met one in Chicago. We met downtown for coffee. We was able to sit down, talk. We even did a song together in music and studio. So it's something to really connect with people in real life. This is cool being online in the YouTube videos, and I enjoy this space. And it's been very powerful in me meeting a lot of people. And I'm grateful for this opportunity, by the way. Let me put that out there. But it's nothing like, real life connections with people where you're on the phone. You see them in person. It's something about being in someone's presence, right? And building that real bond and friendship. That is necessary if we're going to elevate to the next level. So I want to encourage you to embrace connection. I want to encourage you, not preach to you, but encourage you to embrace friendship, trusting the right people. And also I will say, to add to that, being open to the criticism that may come from friendships. Okay, back to the scriptures, Proverbs, faithful are the wounds of a friend. So connection isn't just sit down having pizza and pop, chicken and fries and kicking it. Sometimes connection is to say, you know what, man, you're off track. Sis, you're doing the wrong thing. This is what you need to do. Having those type of friends who will really tell you what's going to help you really reach and become the best that you can be. That's what we need as chosen ones, is to team up against the enemies that come against us. I hope this was a help to you on this Friday afternoon. This is your big brother, King Jabez. Thanks for listening. God bless. Peace.